Welcome to these series of vignettes aimed at showcasing how a range of early childhood programs have supported children and their families during the COVID-19 pandemic. You will note in watching these vignettes that there is a diversity of practices that have showcased how these services have responded to the needs of their communities, their families, and their children. It is this diversity, and it remains a strength of our early childhood sector, that will be showed here. These vignettes aim to inspire you and your colleagues to think beyond COVID-19 and to take away some lessons learned which will support future practices. Challenges that we have faced during COVID-19 often require early childhood teachers and educators to think outside the square, and in doing so, challenge themselves to reimagine their practices. The message during the pandemic from the department has been very clear: try your best. And what we have noted during this period is that early childhood teachers and educators have been drawing from their wealth of knowledge and the knowledge of their colleagues in order to support children and families, and to ensure that the educational program, whether it's been delivered on site or to children and families who are home, we do so to continue to support the children's learning and development. So, let us share with you some inspiring stories of practice from your fellow colleagues in Victoria.
You wouldn't think you would find positives in this type of situation, and we weren't expecting to. So it's been really interesting to get some positives and highlight that relationships are really, really important. They are the bottom line for everything, and it all starts with relationships. So making sure that you maintain those and you can build on those even when children and families are not here. There's a lot you can do. And I think also really thinking outside the box and being dynamic and not having a one size fits all and a mentality of this is what we do. There's lots of different things you can trial. So, and what works for one family might not work for another family. So being a little bit flexible and changing things around to meet the needs of different people.
I think what this whole process has really highlighted as well is the importance of the relationship between the educator and the child. Because ultimately we can have every program in the world and every kind of resource available to the families, but if there is no relationship between that educator and that child, no amount of learning is going to occur anyway.
One of the things that we've learned through reviewing this whole process of learning from home is that we've communicated with families using technology, but one of the things that we will continue with is the frequency of this communication. We are hesitant that we don't lock ourselves into a pressured environment where you have to communicate with families on a certain schedule and things like that. But one of the things we will take on going forward is that we will continue on with more frequent communication, but also exploring the different modes of contact that we have implemented during this time.
Our centre is quite culturally diverse, so it's kind of exciting to think that we can continue this learning from home when they go overseas. If they spend periods of time with relatives or family in another country, we can keep in contact. We can send home learning that's happening in our centre. We can have those connections stay strong between the children, but also with the parents as well. It's nice to think that we can continue this in the future.
For us at Aurora, it has really been, how is it that we can reach out? How can we connect? How can we keep those connections? How can we actually make them stronger so that in this time of separation, we can come through, and I've always viewed this time as a bit of a portal. How can we come through this portal at the other end, looking at this backwards in time and go, actually, we've managed to do this very well. Our strategic goal has always been to look at things not just from a time slice. It's got to go on beyond this. So what additional value are we going to be bringing to families, to early education, to lifting the bar, to actually setting expectations which are strong and high and resolve over time.
So through this period, we have also identified that this is a really great opportunity for us to upskill educators. We have had all of our staff that are involved with the DLP fully trained digitally, so they have immensely improved on using tools like Zoom and Google and the Aurora app and everything that we use on a digital platform. We have also been able to have them understand the programming cycle better. Because each and every educator is planning and programming for their own class, it means that educators who are not studio leaders or who haven't necessarily had the opportunity to practice these skills from their course, that they're now being able to do that in their own little individualized sessions, and they're being approved by somebody who is experienced, by a senior educator or a teacher or one of the leadership team. So it's been an amazing opportunity for us to actually look at that and continue to upskill our educators, as well as reflecting on our own practices. So we've been able to actually, from this, improve what's going on in our centre-based programs, because we realised that there were things that we were including in the DLP that we weren't actually including in our programs on the floor. So that's been an amazing journey for us to explore that and continue that and moving forward. Yeah.
I think empowering families is probably one of the biggest points that we've found. Just giving them the power that they are capable, that yes, it is unknown, but if they have a little bit of guidance, a little bit of support, they can do it at home. So with the program, just continuing to give families resources that they can do on weekends or they can do on days off, that is still linking with our curriculum here, and then just extending it in a different space. Because it is always about extending and going beyond the classroom. So, what we are doing here can go beyond the classroom.
When you have a situation, how do you pivot? How do you disrupt? I love that word because it opens doors, it doesn't create limitations. So my advice to all educators and all providers out there is look at the strengths within your organisation and see how you can pivot.
So this time has been a really testing time for everyone in early childhood. And what we've learnt from this whole experience is that if we work together as a team, that we will get through this period and any other challenges that come our way. We're quite a resilient group of people, and this time has definitely highlighted that, as our focus has been to keep things positive for the children, but also to look after each other in the process.